So at this time, yeah, we're going to bring on Phil Jackson. We also do have James Brooks with us this morning. So we're just going to roll with this, guys. Let's bring James up as well if we can. And what we wanted to do in the next few minutes here is we wanted to celebrate a past peacemaking initiative that has gone on in the past few summers that Pastor James Brooks helped to coordinate, called the Peace 60623 initiative. And then we also want to give a couple minutes to Pastor Phil Jackson here, who's coordinating something right now called Project Presence. So let's do this. We're a little shorter on time, and now we're going to do these two things. But Pastor Brooks, we're so grateful you could join us. I know that you are busy, you're moving, you got a lot going on. But I want to just put up some of these photos from some of the past 60623 peace gatherings. And if you're able to, Pastor Brooks, I would love for you to share just the genesis of those gatherings, why you started doing them in your community. If you could share on that. I'm going to put those photos up real briefly here. So good morning, Pastor Brooks. Welcome. Let's get
Good morning. Thanks for unmuting me. Listen, I'm sorry about my tardiness. I got in the process of moving and forgot my phone. Well, didn't hear my phone alert me. So sorry about that. But the reason we did the 606 peace gatherings, there was just so much violence that was hitting our church community and community in North Lawndale. And we said, what will be our response? And our mission at our church is to listen and respond to the pain in our community. And we believe in proximity matters, or presence matters. So we decided wherever there was a hot spot in our community, we would partner with local organizations, other churches, such as the Firehouse and even the Chicago PD 10th District. And we would go wherever there was, wherever there had been violence or heavy drug traffic, that's where we wanted to show up once a week at least. So we established a great rapport with a lot of residents in the community. And now it's been going on for about 4 years, every summer, going to the hot spots wherever there's violence. Even last night, as I was listening out my window, there were gunshots all over North Lawndale last night, and we're already trying to gather a response. And this is just a way of being intentional. The word became flesh and dwelled among us. The word became flesh and moved into the neighborhood, as Eugene Peterson puts it. But it's really going and being the light of Christ in places, and letting people know that they are loved and we care for them no matter what's going on. So, and I believe Phil Jackson can pick it up from there. Thanks, guys.
But thank you, Pastor Brooks. So I had the privilege of walking with you guys out on some of those gatherings, and I just want to say thank you for the example that you're setting, just responding, being out there. Even the past few weeks, I've been seeing your posts, 16th and Millard. You guys have been cleaning the block, bringing presence out there. So we appreciate that model you all are setting for us. Pastor Phil Jackson, are you there with us still? There he is.
Yep, I'm here. I'm gonna.
Why don't you pick up that thing of presence, and then how you guys are mobilizing right now? Take a minute or two, tell us what's happening.
Okay, so in a conversation with James Brooks, talking about our work at the Firehouse and our little statements we make about more contact, more impact around everything that's going on in North Lawndale, we began to talk about some of the same things. He came up as a freestyle MC and said, "Why don't you call it Project Presence?" And so our work, along with what James is doing, is to grab and tap on the shoulders of community residents and leaders and say, "Hey, what part of the block or where in North Lawndale do you recognize you have influence, and where you can post up for 2 hours, 3 hours, and share the love, give out the gummy bears, barbecue, bring a bouncy house, play some basketball, and just create presence where your presence matters." And having that visible presence of 6, 7, 8, 10 people on the block repeatedly every week on the same day or on several days of the week will create what we call righteous irritation and create a deep influence where the casual conversations, just like what Pastor was talking about before with the parking lot, where those cats who won't see the neighbors or residents or church leaders as ops, but they'll see them as partners, as friends. And there is the witness opportunity, both in the physical and in the spiritual. And so we are meeting every Thursday at 5 o'clock at the firehouse, and our efforts are to rally up folks to come together, sign a spot on the map of North Lawndale, where they're going to be, what time, how long, what resources they need, in partnership with Chicago Cred helping us, just like the Gummy Bears, to come alongside of residents who say, hey, we want to do this on our block to create more attention. And so Project Presence, in conjunction with 60623, in conjunction with other residents on North Lawndale, are ramping that up so that the week of May 17th, we could jump this off all the way through the end of the summer with the plan objectively, with 7 days a week, there are people on hotspots in North Lawndale for so many hours, ramping up certain spots. And I even believe that there'll be times when we can gather certain folks in certain spots, doing extra with the violence, extra in the neighborhood, where we can post up a collaborative effort with everybody to create more of a stance and a position that way. So that is what Project Presence is. We are being present on the block, being that righteous irritation for change.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor Phil. Hey guys, in the chat, send some love to Pastor Brooks, Pastor Phil. Let's thank them for all that they're doing in North Lawndale. Check out Project Presence. Let's put that in the chat. Project Presence, shout that out, everybody. They're going to get out there and bring the presence. Thank you, guys.